This is something I call the Innovation Accelerator Research Center. Basically, it's an innovation accelerator dedicated to getting people to add more ideas and accelerate the process of innovation, because a faster innovation funnel, which could lead to lead user development, may equal a greater number of jobs. We are currently preparing students for jobs that do not yet exist in this country. So some of this is going to be technologically oriented. However, there can also be innovations in services and improvements to service and products that are not technology related. So why innovate? Number one reason right now is the creation of more jobs in this state as well as this country, changing or ever-changing economies, increased competition from abroad and new technologies, and communities need sustainable development. What kind of innovation accelerator or research center are we talking about or proposing? I'm going to skip this slide and move on to the next one, and it may become clearer after we talk about how to accelerate the conception or production of new ideas that can lead to new jobs. This slide simply is copied from a set on innovation where they talked about beg, buy, borrow, brainstorm, reverse engineer, and promote entrepreneurship. But the bottom line is something called the innovation funnel. And the idea here is to add more faster production of ideas at the front end so that as these things are weeded through the innovation funnel, you could get more good ideas and successes on the other end. Certainly all ideas are going to go through a assessment and development stage, and services and products are also going to go through a testing stage. But the whole idea is to increase the process, just like they do in physics when they bombard a high energy and high frequency and a high number amount of particles in order to cause particle collisions at the tail end. So the idea was borrowed from physics, and the high energy that we are adding to accelerate innovation is human interaction between experts and non-experts and lead users. Ideally, this would be held in a cost-effective center that is conducive to frequent public participation and brainstorming from experts in product and service development, as well as the community, as well as people from government and business and the financial industry for funding of ideas that are more viable to put into the entrepreneurial phase. The idea of lead users comes from Dr. Eric von Hippel of MIT, and he specializes in the research related to the nature and economics of distributed and open innovation. The example that he cites are the early lead users who developed mountain bikes before these bikes were modified and then before they went into mass production. And sometimes, in order to spot new innovations, you try to identify a group of lead users because they even precede the innovators and the early adopters. So if you can find a need, the need will occur in that group called the lead users, and then you'll have the innovators and those that build on the ideas, leading to the early adopters before these things get adopted by society in general. Another idea is the idea of open innovation, where you have different sources for input into the innovation funnel, and ideally speaking, we have to expect that there are going to be a lot of mistakes and a lot of failures along the way, but the overall goal is to have successes come out the other end of the funnel. Now, my view of a high energy innovation accelerator is to put energy into the front end of the accelerator would require frequent brainstorming and accelerated usage 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Ideally, that would be the kind of center that could be used by a community, and nowadays with internet link up, it could be used by users from all around the world. Now, the participants, what should they get out of it? They ought to be able to get a couple things out of it. They ought to be able to get a feeling that they have participated in something that could potentially lead to useful products and services. They should receive experiential value in the form of edutainment, which is education as well as entertainment. And that way it is a positive experience for the both the expert and the non-expert participants. Now, the use of bringing brainstorming teams together, our country has a history of this when we had the representatives get together and form a Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. We have also had evidence of this in the scientific fields, in the space program, and in companies such as Microsoft. Again, what is the source of the high energy for the Innovation Accelerator brainstorming experience? Well, there is going to have to be some form of theatrical component to this, because in order for people to brainstorm and think of different ideas, they do have to sometimes suspend their disbelief in a way that theater is able to do for an audience. And in order for human beings to be able to come up with outlandish and outrageous ideas, sometimes it is important to think creatively. And so the basic concept is to do things in a 1 hour brainstorming voyage type of scenario, with rapid idea generation, no judgments, and the wilder the ideas the better. And in this case, quantity is king, because the more quantity we can put in at the front end may lead to better results at the tail end of the innovation funnel. From an academic point of view, a university can use such a center and apply multidisciplinary approaches, get people from different departments involved, share their best practices, and create a more creative brainstorming session. This picture of a bridge simply demonstrates that it's a combination of a class plus a dedicated group of researchers who are there to help guide the discussion along, and also to document what is brainstormed and what is potentially viable for the next stage of development. So the idea is to harness the value of collaboration and suggestions and ideas from different and multiple disciplines or multiple departments, including the community and the non-expert folks from the local community. This is just a slide talking about how to schedule everything within 1 hour, and I will skip this for now. Again, if we are serious about global competition, then we should build an innovation funnel running 365 days a year. We should have a certain set of goals, and we can have teams dedicated to certain topics for both product and service designs. By accelerating the number and frequency of ideas going into the funnel, we should be able to get more positive results coming out at the end of the funnel, always keeping in mind that we should be looking at the feasibility of customers and markets for these products and services, and thereby also creating jobs for the community. Finally, this slide just shows questions that we should ask ourselves. How will we create value? How will we capture value, and how will we deliver value? If we have 3,000 raw ideas submitted, and then these ideas are whittled down to 300 and then down to 125 small projects, out of those, let's say we get 4 major developments, and you may get 2 launches, and you may only get 1 successful new product or 1 successful new service. However, that is 1 more than we had before, and for a community, if it creates new jobs, that is a positive thing. So finally, what is the return on investment of doing such a collaborative project? Well, if it is in a research setting, you can have discovery, learning, local engagement. For a university, you can also have alumni participation. You can have accelerated innovation of services and products, and a dedicated research center, and also the creation of new and modern jobs in both the product and service sectors. And that's it. Thank you for listening to this concept. It is called the Innovation Accelerator, or Human Innovation Accelerator. Thank you.